So the other thing that I want to talk about with tonight's show is that, I stayed through Rampage because they advertised a street fight and they did a really great job, and I'm going to give them a lot of points for that. When Tony came out and he was talking about the Rampage card, what happened was you saw Red Velvet and Diamante like actually start brawling, and Tony was like, what's this really? People were chanting Jerry, 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 and then they had the match at the end. So these types of creative type of cliffhangers, I have to give them a lot of credit for, because this actually got people to stay. Not a lot of people, but it was definitely it would have been way less really, but definitely I appreciate them doing that, so I give them points for that tonight. The other thing that I want to say is, before I forget, that I got a picture. I got a selfie with Private Party. They were doing it with a bunch of people, so I kind of got like a pseudo selfie. I really appreciate that. And then also Tony came down. I got to shake his hand. Got to shake hands with a billionaire. And I also Tony's like a really nice guy. Like I said, he has a really good spirit. He has a really good heart. He wears his heart on his shoulders. So I really appreciate him doing that. And then also it's a little bit of a reward for staying to the very end. So honestly, if he does things like this, it's like if you stay at the very end, you get a picture with Tony, or he walks around to people at ringside, or you have some other wrestlers that say, thank you for staying to the end. Keep on doing that. Sheeta versus the woman from Top Flight. I didn't like this match because obviously Sheeta has been the AEW Women's Champion for over a year. This match went on way too long, really. It's not realistic. You have like someone that's been like a manager for Top Flight, not really have a lot of matches, and she's going on a very long time with Sheeta. That's very bad physics. It should not be like that. You would have had, for a match this long, to go on this long, they should have had, Sheeta versus Nyla Rose. The thing is, Briscoe versus the Premier Athletes. They need to fire the Premier Athletes. It's the same old gimmick. It's boring. It's getting old. There's nothing special about them. They need to be released. And it's the same old gimmick. They're almost like Team Rocket, in a way. It doesn't work. Mark Briscoe does his typical type of, I'm going to set up a chair and do a jump out of the ring, or I'm going to bring a chair in the ring. You can't do that every fucking time, Mark, because it gets really fucking old. It's old news, So Mark Briscoe needs something new. And I think I need to do a video about Mark Briscoe, because I really, really think that he has a lot of potential. And I think like booking him towards the AEW Championship is something that's going to like really be really good. And I think that's a really fire idea. I need to write that down. The next match was LFI versus the Jobbers. Again, similar pattern. I felt the match went on a little too long. I didn't even get the name of the new guys, but they lasted a little too long. And then I think a lot of people were mad too, because like Jake the Snake should have been there. And I understand it's like Rampage, but if you want Rampage to be a bigger deal, you have to treat it like a big deal. You should have had Jake the Snake Roberts come out. You could have even done something where you could have like had those guys beaten up, knocked on the ground. They bring a bag and they put like a Mexican snake on top of their bodies or something like that, in a safe way. That's what you should have done to make it feel like a bigger deal. But there was really nothing to make that a big deal. You had Ricochet versus, I think it was Darius Martin, if I'm correct. Dante Martin or Darius Martin, like whoever in Top Flight. Stupid choice, because you had two Top Flight members be jobbers tonight. So that's not a good look. They had, in their match, there wasn't that many high flyer spots. There's some things that they did, but they could have done it a little bit more competitively, and I think that I would have liked that. But then again, you're with Top Flight, they're kind of being jobbers now, really. So I really hope that, I think in the future, you want to give them a bunch of victories, or you want to make it 50-50 almost. I think if you did like Ricochet versus Hologram, that would have been good. Or like Ricochet versus, not Leo Rush, but there's another guy on the, there's another guy, I think he's like the Pure Championship in ROH. You could have done that, or Ricochet versus Sammy Guevara. You could have had somebody else, because having two members of Top Flight lose back to back is not what you should be doing, because that makes them look really weak. And if they're on Team AEW, this does not help them out at all. So it was not good. We had Red Velvet versus Diamante. There was a really cool ladder spot. There was a really cool table spot. They whipped each other with a chain. But again, it did feel like they did some stuff, but they didn't like go all out really, you know. So that's how I feel. But the other part of it is that if you're gonna have Red Velvet versus Diamante, you're doing what they always do on Rampage and ROH, which is during the live feed, you don't see people talk backstage. You see people talk a little bit on the microphone, but you need people on the screen. We need to understand context. We need to understand why they're feuding. You need to kind of build up like, okay, you know, this is the fireworks. Why do we want to see the fireworks? Why do these two girls hate each other? Why does Red Velvet, why does Diamante want to go after her title? You know, why really? If you kind of built this up a lot more throughout the night, I would honestly have a lot of respect for that. As I said, Pride Party, I got a picture with them. Next time, bring the Shot Boys. I got a picture with Tony Khan. And, you know, very nice. I really respect him for doing that. It means a lot because, you know, Vince doesn't have the time to do that with people, you know. So